ever since the season came to a close.
Couldn't be more proud of the way you approached it. You guys earned the right to enjoy that today, and awfully proud and happy.
We've been waiting for the return of tradition, the sound, the spectacle. To see if our team will pick up where they left off. These proud programs return to the gridiron.
You can win this fight tonight. There's a short touchdown PB into the end zone. Touchdown.
Opportunity is back. Hope is back.
All you guys, right out of the gate. Juice, you got energy. Get it out. Get it out. Get him out. Get him out.
It's finally here.
Play back. 1, 2, 3.
Football is back.
Oh, baby, is it in one of the great atmospheres, in one of the great college towns in America. They take the field at Camp Randall Stadium in Madison, Wisconsin. You're watching the Big Ten on ESPN. The 100th year of Camp Randall, and it's a top 10 team hosting the number 9 Wisconsin Badgers and the Utah State Aggies. Welcome into the broadcast booth. Adam Amin, Dusty Dvorak, Molly McGrath will join us as well. We've got stars, studs, headliners, and contenders on Friday nights all season long. And each week we'll open up our Friday dossier to introduce you to the game. We start with the defending Big Ten West champs.
Well, Paul Chryst, he's enjoyed a lot of success as head coach here in Wisconsin. But this year, he's got 15 starters back, a favorable schedule, and they are contenders not just to win the Big Ten, but also to be in the college football playoff. And speaking of chances, Coach Chryst taking a chance on this man. Jim Leonhard embodies what it means to be a Wisconsin Badger, from walk-on to All-American. And in his second season as a coach, he'll be upstairs tonight calling the plays for his alma mater in the Wisconsin Badger defense.
Can Utah State exercise its demons from a year ago? So many close losses. They missed out on a bowl game last year. We're back for Friday nights. What a way to start. Madison, Wisconsin. The 5th oldest stadium in FBS, celebrating its 100th anniversary. Camp Randall is back, and so is Molly McGrath, talking about a quarterback who has returned for Wisconsin.
That's right, Adam. Wisconsin quarterback Alex Hornibrook has made serious changes to his body this offseason, thanks to a clean eating diet that has him consuming close to 6,000 calories a day. That is more than any of his teammates, including his linemen. And take a look at this. This is a picture of Hornibrook's fridge during the summer. That is enough protein to feed their entire offense, and that was all for him. And as a result, he's gained 12 pounds of lean body mass. He's dropped his body fat by 6%, and he told me this is the strongest and most energized he's felt.
Molly, that was like Dusty's dream fridge, I think.
That's a good-looking fridge, Molly. Man, 6,000 calories, and you lose weight and gain muscle? Sign me up.
P.J. Rosowski kicks away. Utah State won the toss and wanted the ball first. Out to the 25 comes Kent Myers, a senior out of Rowlett, Texas, from district MVP in the state of Texas in high school all the way to Utah State. This guy is a record setter. He plays with a chip on his shoulder. Dusty, he makes his 27th career start.
And he wants to go out a winner. And he's got experience first and foremost. Played a lot of snaps with this Utah State football team. And mobility. I want to see him use his legs a little bit more. And he's got to improve his accuracy. Accuracy was an issue. But with the new offense they're about to display here today, they think he's going to get better throwing the football and be more accurate. Expect
up-tempo. High snap. Handled by Myers, and it will be a loss back at the 18-yard line. Ryan Connolly closed out the play with T.J. Edwards. Here's some Friday night factors for this very quick team. They lost their last 6 games. A lot of them were close in Mountain West play. David Yost is their new offensive coordinator. Nobody has made a start on the offensive line. All brand new linemen. Myers with a great throw on the move to find Jordan Nathan, and he's close to the sticks near the 34-yard line. They'll set up 3rd down and 2 to try to convert their opening drive. Another high snap. But Lawan Hunt will move the chains to the 36.
So important for this Utah State team to get that initial 1st down. Now they can go fast, they can go tempo, and try to get this Wisconsin defense on their heels.
We've seen 2 high snaps already from Quinn Ficklin, the transfer from BYU, who's playing at center. He hasn't played as an offensive lineman since high school. He's now a junior. Myers fires over the middle, and he's got Damian Hobbs. Dusty, what does that do with a very inexperienced offensive line to this offense?
Well, against this defensive line, it's tough. That's why they're going to use tempo, try to get this Wisconsin Badger defense on their heels, misalign, go as fast as they can to give this offensive line a chance.
On the move, it's Hunt, and he gets buried in the backfield by an absolute bruiser in Leon Jacobs.
Strong, explosive. They call him Megatron. He looks like a Greek freak. That guy is off the charts with athleticism.
Look at his biceps. I mean, he's just one of the biggest dudes that we saw when we were on the field before the game for an already stout Wisconsin defense. Third down and 6. Badgers bring 4. Underneath, it's Hunt, and right on cue, it's Leon Jacobs to close the drive.
Well, Jim Leonard, the new defensive coordinator, dials up pressure on 3rd down. They bring a blitz in the middle, man-to-man coverage on the outside. Edwards, Connolly, a crossfire blitz, ball's out quick, and Leon Jacobs in perfect position to make the tackle and get his defense off the field.
Nick Nelson is back to return, the transfer from Hawaii. Aaron Dalton punts away for Utah State. A great punt, grabbed at the 5 by Nelson. And somehow gets past the 10 with a penalty marker thrown from the far side.
Pretty good chance we'll get hands in the back, blocking the back on Wisconsin.
Don Willard leads our Big Ten officiating crew tonight on opening Friday night.
During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 31. Penalized half the distance to the goal line. 1st down.
Lubern Figaro got tagged with that block in the back, so Wisconsin will start its first series deep in its own territory with the redshirt sophomore out of Pennsylvania. Alex Hornibrook taking over full-time as the #1 quarterback after he split duties with Bart Houston a year ago. This drive starts from the 4-yard line. And on the ground, it's Bradrick Shaw getting the carry out to the 9. He'll pick up 5 on 1st down. Alex Hornibrook had a concussion late in the season against Minnesota, so he did miss a lot of time late. Missed the Big Ten championship game.
He's the guy now. He's confident. He's got great toughness and anticipation.
Shaw hit right near the line of scrimmage, lunged forward for maybe a yard. What else do you like about Alex Hornibrook?
Well, there's a lot to like about Alex Hornibrook. I mean, he's a smart player. You can tell he spends a lot of time in the film room, done a better job of manipulating defenses with his eyes. But one thing I want to see Alex Hornibrook do this year to take his game and take this offense to the next level, that arm strength, making those accurate throws down the field. I didn't see that consistently last year. Hopefully we get a chance to see some of that here tonight.
They like to pass on 3rd down and short. This is 3rd and 3 out of the gun. The left-hander finds a man in the flat in Bradrick Shaw for a 1st down out near the 20-yard line.
Nice easy throw for Alex Hornibrook out in the flat. Finds his running back, Bradrick Shaw. Give this offense a little bit of breathing room here on their opening drive.
Wisconsin led the country in time of possession last year. As per usual, big offensive line with veterans and a running game that's going to mix in a few backs tonight and all season long. Now it's Chris James in the backfield. He helps pick up one blitzer, but Alex Hornibrook gets drilled by the cornerback, Jalen Davis, the senior, with the sack.
Jalen Davis, the quarterback, they bring him off the edge. Excellent job timing it. Hornibrook never saw him. Hornibrook lucky he kept that football. Jalen Davis does an excellent job. See him sneak in at the last minute, untouched. That ball, he got his hand right on the football. Nice job of Hornibrook to possess the football and keep it in. An outstanding job by Jalen Davis on the blitz.
36th career start out of a possible 38 for Jalen Davis. Not much for Chris James, but he'll power ahead for 3 yards, running into Aaron Wade, the safety. Third down.
James just happy to be back on the field. Set out last year after transferring for Pitt. They're excited about Chris James and his ability to run between the tackles.
The first carries for him in a couple of seasons after coming over from Pitt, where he was with Paul Christ for a season in 2014. A third down and long for Wisconsin. Only one lineman with his hand down for Utah State. An exotic blitz from the Aggies. Getting to Hornibrook again. This is impressive from Micah Magale. He was able to make the stop. And a couple of sacks on that drive for Utah State.
Excellent job with the blitz. Overloaded to the boundary. No one's open down the field. And Utah State with a big stop here in the first quarter.
They needed something like this to feel like they were going to be in this game from the jump. Anthony Lottie will punt from the end zone. Zach Van Leeuwen has to back up. That's a great punt back to the 40, and even better coverage for Wisconsin from one of their captains, Natrell Jamerson. Excellent stuff from the senior out of Ocala, Florida. A wide receiver as a freshman, a cornerback the last 2 years, still bringing the heat. Wisconsin suffering some injuries to their linebacking core. Jack Sitchie, who was expected to be a major contributor, tearing his ACL during camp. And a left foot injury has kept Zach Bond out as well. He's got the wheel to help him maneuver around the field. But Wisconsin showing a lot of depth in its linebacking core despite losing 2 major contributors. On the move here is Tony Lindsay with a strong run on first down. For more, down to Molly.
Yeah, Adam, Wisconsin also showing a lot of support for their injured players. Troy Fumagalli wearing number 48 for tonight, only to honor the injured captain, Jack Sitchie. And Sitchie told me Fumagalli asked him the day before his ACL surgery if he'd be okay with it. He said, of course.
Great stuff. Ronquavian Tarver was the intended target, with Nick Nelson being tested for the first time in a Badger uniform. We'll check the penalty marker on the throw. Nick Nelson, a transfer from Hawaii, who redshirted last year.
Holding. Defense. Number 11. 10-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
That means it was before the pass was released, so it's a holding penalty against Nelson.
Nick Nelson having a great camp so far to start this season. Working up top, trying to use the sideline as his helper. A little bit of pushing and shoving, gets that right arm in there to draw the flag. Too much contact there, Adam.
On first down and 10, a hole for Tony Lindsay. And he'll work to the 40 for 5 yards. Down to Molly.
Yeah, Adam, as I was saying, Jack Sitchie not out there, but he told me he's just happy to see his number out there on the field. He's there in spirit a little bit, and he said these next 3 games are going to be really difficult for him. He's not allowed on the field as a precaution. He'll be up in the booth with the headset on, and then after that, he'll be back down on the field. His teammates have told me, in order for us to be successful this season, we still need Jack Sitchie.
In some capacity, a very vocal leader. Setting up the screen for Lindsey. He's got space, he has the first down, and he dives inside the Wisconsin 30 after a 12-yard pickup.
The start of this game could not have worked out any better for the Aggies. Excellent job setting up the screen. The defensive line couldn't feel it. And Lindsey out in the open field with a nice pickup after the catch.
Utah State's defense stood up nicely on Wisconsin's opening possession. Man, a score here just feels like it'd be massive for Utah State, a 4-touchdown underdog, to feel like they're in this game. One in the reverse with Jordan Nathan, the redshirt freshman out of California, leaping inside the 10. First down and goal for Utah State.
The reverse to the true freshman, Jordan Nathan, and an excellent block by Sean Taylor on the edge. 52 gets out in front. Throws a big block out there. Jordan Nathan makes him pay.
Trying to work the perimeter once again with Ronquavian Tarver, and he gets dragged down by Andrew Van Ginkel. It'll set up second down and goal. Very fast-paced, as we expected from Utah State.
And the plays start to accumulate, so you get tired. It's tough for this defense to continue to rotate and bring in fresh bodies. The accumulation of plays and the pace seems like it's taking its toll here early.
Lawan Hunt is back in the game as the running back, next to Kent Myers, senior out of Fort Lauderdale. Play clock at 3. There's a give to Hunt, trying to pound forward, and he'll set up third down and goal at the 3-yard line.
Power football, trying to get it between the tackles. Watch for 87, Dax Raymond. They love this tight end. He's got a great frame at 6'5". Perfect red zone target for Kent Myers.
A little bit of movement before the play here.
Like Wisconsin was a little bit early. Well, he must have been drawn off.
False start. Offense, number 51. 5-yard penalty. Remains third down.
Remember, Wisconsin led the country in time of possession last year. They're not used to teams moving the ball on them methodically so far as Utah State has done so far tonight. 64-4 so far. Kent Myers checking the play. He's got a lot of freedom in this offense. Badgers with a blitz. Myers on the move. And Myers will make the smart decision and sling it out of bounds with Alec James applying the pressure.
Intentional grounding the ball across the line of scrimmage. Incomplete pass, fourth down.
Jim Litter dials up a blitz once again. They go man-to-man on the outside. Nobody's open. It's excellent coverage by the Badgers secondary. And Kent Myers smartly gets outside the pocket trying to buy some time and just throws it away before he's sacked. Everybody covered around the field. The rush gets there. Forces the field goal attempt.
Of 25 yards from Dominic Everly, a part-time kicker last year, taking over the full-time duties this season. Utah State coming on the road, getting the early points, trying to settle in Madison. Hope you're doing the same on your couch.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Pizza Hut. Turn every dollar you spend on pizza into unlimited points for free pizza with Pizza Hut's Hut Rewards program. Sign up today for double points because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
I I got to appreciate the fact that since 2012, Madison holds the title of most bookstores per capita in the United States. Some smart folks around here in Madison, although I did get a nice note from one of our buddies today that Madison and the state of Wisconsin have as many bars as the state of New York, which has 5 times the people.
Wow.
So I think books and booze apparently is the name of the game.
I think they're proud of that.
I think they should be proud of that.
Absolutely.
Frankly. And cheese too.
Yeah, of course.
You can't forget the cheese.
The cheese curds we had the other day were off the charts.
No doubt, my man. Dominic Eberle kicks away, and Wisconsin will set up shop at the 25-yard line. We've played 10 minutes in this game so far, and this is the story of the first 10 minutes.
Utah State has come out swinging. Matt Wells said they're not going to hold any punches. They're going to take some chances, aggressive on defense, bringing pressure, getting home, and offensively, whether it's screens, reverses, trying to neutralize the aggressive attack nature of this Wisconsin defense. And boy, it's worked to a T so far here early in Camp Randall.
The goal for the Utah State defense this year was more takeaways, improve the pass rush, more depth at linebacker. At least one of those things has been very apparent so far with that pass rush. This is a familiar sight for Wisconsin fans. Jazz Peavy, an excellent runner on the edge. He'll pick up 5. Well, of course, we're leading up to Saturday Night Football on ABC. It's never happened. The #1 team taking on either the 2nd or 3rd ranked team to open the season. That's what we have from Atlanta. #1 Alabama, #3 Florida State, the Chick-fil-A kickoff game, also streaming live on the ESPN app. Jonathan Taylor, the true freshman, is checked in at running back. And ball is loose on the ground and picked up by Utah State. Suli Tumaivena is able to scoop it and take it inside the 15-yard line.
We saw the issues with the quarterback-center exchange with Utah State early, and now it's Wisconsin working in a new center of their own. And Hornibrook never got the snap. Wow, Utah State in business. Tyler Biadish, the redshirt freshman, former defensive tackle, works his way into the starting lineup tonight. And in his first start, problems with the center quarterback exchange.
A very rocky offensive start for Wisconsin, and Utah State with an excellent opening to this game. And they are in prime position at the 16-yard line. It is Hunt seeking space, and a good ankle tackle made along the perimeter by Chikwe Obasi. Pick up a 4 yards on first down for the senior Lawan Hunt.
Even in the rushing attack, not huge gains, but there's some holes out there. This inexperienced Utah State offensive line holding their own up front against the Badgers.
Here is Hunt with the cut, and Lawan Hunt is into the end zone, and Utah State coming out slugging. They're stunned in Madison to start the night.
Huge hole, excellent job with the cutback, and Hunt walks into the end zone.
A 10-0 start for Utah State. They were very competitive in their last trip to Madison 5 years ago. They needed a takeaway. They needed a punch. They've gotten it so far on this Friday night.
Well, Matt Wells told us earlier in the week they're going to get opportunities. They got to capitalize on them. And he said, we're not going to hold any punches. We're coming out swinging, screens, reverses, different things to slow down this Wisconsin defense. And when the turnover came, Utah State took advantage of their opportunity. And we're sitting here now in Camp Randall with the Badgers down 10.
Who would have thought this from a 4-touchdown underdog? A.J. Taylor on the return, and he's got a big hole with a flag thrown as he works his way out across the 30-yard line. We'll check that penalty marker. Don Willard with a busy first quarter thus far.
During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 85. Penalized half the distance to the goal line. First down.
Matt Wells told us, I think the biggest thing is that Wisconsin will make a mistake at some point. Can we capitalize? And so far, that's the story of this first quarter. Utah State with an early blitz on Wisconsin, which has been playing tight games against these non-conference opponents. They have a 37-game non-conference home win streak, but some of these games have gotten a little tighter than maybe expected. From the 9-yard line, the number 9 team in the country starts this drive. The left-handed Hornibrook slings it out for Peavy, and Jamarcus Ingram was right there. The ball comes out loose again. Does Utah State have it? Will it be ruled incomplete? I believe a penalty marker was thrown in there somewhere as well. Initial ruling is an incomplete pass from the back judge. Lots to sort out for this officiating crew here. And a lot to sort out. Was it a completion or not?
It's an incomplete pass. After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 48. Penalized half the distance to the goal line. The down counts, second down. This is number 48's first unsportsmanlike conduct penalty of the game.
Wow, Troy Fumagalli gets tagged with an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty in that fracas. Very surprising to see from one of the captains of this Wisconsin team. After all that, an incomplete pass.
They love to roll Hornibrook to his left, get him in a rhythm, get him confident. He finds his target, Peavy. Peavy just never caught the pass.
Second down and 14. And it is Chris James. Works his way to about the 8-yard line. We've already seen 4 Wisconsin penalties in this game. This was the 4th lowest penalized team in terms of yardage in all of college football last year. This is some uncharacteristic stuff from Wisconsin that we're seeing early.
In 3rd and long, not something we're accustomed to seeing Wisconsin in with their physical rushing attack, usually in 3rd and manageable. Not a situation Hornibrook and this offense want to be in. Expect Utah State to bring pressure as they've done earlier.
They'll bring pressure. Hornibrook hit as he throws down the middle, and it's incomplete. Looking for A.J. Taylor in the traffic. He nearly came down with it. Instead, it's 4th down, and Wisconsin will have to punt.
Hornibrook under pressure once again. Gets the pass off to A.J. Taylor. A.J. Taylor's got a man beat. He's got to make that catch. A.J. Taylor has to be able to come down with that pass.
By the way, this was the penalty on Fumagalli. Now, this is actually something that was implemented into the rule book last year. You can't go into a pile and pull players out. Otherwise, it's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. A very short kick and good field position at the 47 for Utah State. Just a 39-yard punt. I know we're building up to Florida State, Alabama. This might end up being one of the more competitive games of the weekend. Top 25 matchup, the offense of West Virginia with a new quarterback, the salty Bud Foster defense. Sunday night, Capital One Sunday night kickoff, West Virginia and Virginia Tech on ABC.
I'm intrigued to see Will Greer in a different uniform.
Yeah.
You go back to when he was at Florida, 5-0 as a starter. A lot of praise for him. Now he's going to work for Dana Holgorsen against that Bud Foster defense. Great matchup between the Hokies and the Mountaineers.
West Virginia offense that is said to be more multiple this year with their new quarterback coming in.
Justin Crawford, a heck of a running back.
A lot of people aren't talking about him.
He's a good player. Speed can make you miss.
Play clock winding down for Utah State.
First charge, timeout and a half. Utah State. 30 seconds in length.
This is the number 9 team in the country trailing right now. They had that great win at Lambeau against LSU, then back-to-back losses in very tight fashion to Michigan and Ohio State in overtime. Had a phenomenal run early in the Big Ten championship game. They were up late in the first half by 3 touchdowns, ended up losing, bouncing back to beat a previously unbeaten Western Michigan team. So there's a lot of expectation with everybody coming back, with a returning quarterback in Alex Hornibrook. We're a little surprised to see this early.
Very surprised to see this early. You know, we talked to Paul Christ about this, you know, managing expectations. He says we approach it the same, but you know as well as I do, when players hear all the praise, it's tough not to get sunk in.
Yeah, the hype machine is real. This is a freshman in Savon Scarver out of Las Vegas. Matt Wells says he's the fastest guy we've got. And if they keep doing what they've been doing in this new offense, we might see more of him tonight. And second down, working is Lindsey, diving ahead close to the sticks. Third down and short coming up for Utah State. 21 straight home opening victories here at Camp Randall Stadium for Wisconsin by big margins. They're getting tested so far tonight.
It's early. This is a big play for this Wisconsin Badger defense. They got to find a way to come up with stop and spark this stadium and their team.
Jim Leonard's the defensive coordinator, calling the defense for the first time. Trying to stop the run of Myers, lunging ahead, but hit shy of the line to gain. Good penetration by Chris Orr, along with Connor Sheehy, to set up fourth down, and Utah State's offense is still out there.
Holding no punches, rolling the dice. David Joe says, let's go.
Here we go. Fourth down and 2. 70 seconds for the first. And a quick kick here from Kent Myers. And he'll get a great roll. How about that from the senior quarterback, pinning Wisconsin inside the 5. 57 seconds for the first quarter. Another long field in front of Wisconsin. It's early in this game.
Right.
Jim Leonard is just getting his feet underneath him, calling the defense for the first time. What do you think might be the toughest part of his transition right now?
Hey man, I mean, this is a guy who's excited. He likes to stay calm. He looks like a college kid. Who's the coach there? I can't even tell. But his first game to call plays, you know, he's got to get himself settled in. He did a lot of mock games leading up to this game, but there's nothing like the real thing. Really, this Wisconsin offense is what needs to get going, not so much the defense.
Again, they're pinned inside their own 5. First down, here is Shaw. Trying to get some cushion for this Wisconsin offense. We'll pick up about 4 there.
You know, coming into this game, when you look at Wisconsin's offensive line, they're massive, they're big, they're physical. You got Bo Binshaw, a preseason All-American. Michael Dieter, one of the better offensive linemen in this league. I thought they'd be able to come in and maybe take the physicality of Utah State. But so far, it's Utah State that's bringing the fight to Wisconsin.
Here's Shaw with a big hole. Dusty right on cue. You wanted to see the offensive line step up. That's a big hole, a run of 11, and a first down.
Utah State movement up front. They get out of their gaps. Tyler Biadish, the center, with an excellent block to spring that run by Bradrick Shaw.
That's just the second first down for Wisconsin in its first 4 drives in the first quarter. 5 years ago, Utah State took a lead into halftime at Camp Randall Stadium. Through 1, this Utah State team, trying to exorcise the demons from a year ago, has a lot of bad through 15 minutes. So this is the Wisconsin tennis team checking out U.S. Open coverage Venus advanced earlier today. Maria Sharapova is coming up on ESPN2 in a little bit as well. So you can check all that out, plus all the football games going on. Fans' Best Friend, highlights, podcasts, shows, live games. It's all on the ESPN app. Start of the second quarter, Utah State with a 2-score lead. Hornibrook lobbing it and incomplete for the true freshman Jonathan Taylor.
I was just about to make the point that Wisconsin was getting back to what they do, running the football between the tackles. I don't mind the play action pass, easy throw out to the true freshman running back, Jonathan Taylor, who they've raved about. He's got to make that catch and get upfield and make a play.
Now, this is a team that's replacing Corey Clements, but also Dare Ogunbowale.
Right.
That's also something to note because he was very good in the pass game.
Excellent job catching the ball out of the backfield. And that's why we're going to figure it out. Bradrick Shaw, Chris James, Jonathan Taylor, all trying to fill the shoes left by those two guys.
This is Fumagalli. They'll work him in the screen game to try to rumble for yardage. Chase Christiansen was there for the stop after a 4-yard gain. Tennessee and Georgia Tech, all part of our Chick-fil-A kickoff game on Monday night on ESPN. This one also in Atlanta as well. This is a game that has a lot of people kind of scratching their heads. What is Tennessee? What is Georgia Tech? Who are the guys that we need to keep an eye out for, do you think?
Going to be a new quarterback in Tennessee, whether it's Normandy or Guarantano. John Kelly, the running back, a name to watch out for, over 6 yards of carry for the Volunteers.
Hornibrook has an open man and incomplete. Looking for Quintez Cephas, and there is the veteran of that secondary, Jalen Davis, with a clean hit and an incompletion forced.
Jalen Davis been all over the field tonight. We've seen him in the blitz game, getting after the quarterback. And here he comes, delivers the big shot. Oh, I'll tell you what, Cephas, a poor job going to get the football. Gator armed that a bit.
And now a late penalty marker was thrown. I'd be curious to know whether or not the replay booth buzzed down to perhaps create this targeting penalty, which is a liberty for the replay booth.
Personal foul, targeting, defense number 13, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down, plays under review.
And he took his helmet off, which is not a good thing to do either. Jalen Davis has to put his helmet back on. But let's take a look at this.
Yes.
You know, you could make the argument here. Is he leading with the crown of his helmet? And is he making contact forcibly above the shoulders, so to the head or neck area? And is there an indicator of targeting as well, whether it's a launch, some kind of thrust going towards the offensive player? And that is what this replay booth is going to review right now, led by Steve Newman. It certainly looked like
he gets it with the crown of his head,
the helmet.
Slightly lowers his helmet, and he contacts with the crown of his helmet with Cephas. This is going to be a devastating blow for the Utah State defense. Jalen Davis has already made numerous plays here tonight.
After review, the ruling on the field of targeting is confirmed. Number 13 is disqualified. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Wide receiver was defenseless, forcible contact to the helmet. I hate to see Jalen Davis leave this game so early, especially as well as he's played, but that's the correct call on the field.
Yeah, the key word that you used too is defenseless. Any receiver who's in the process of receiving the ball is considered to be a defenseless player. So Jalen Davis, who has made 36 career starts, including tonight, the true veteran of this Utah State secondary and defense in general, is out for the rest of this game. And a little bit of life for Wisconsin, perhaps, after that penalty. Short gain for the freshman, Jonathan Taylor. Again,
Cephas defenseless.
Yep, defenseless player.
You see Jalen Davis slightly lower that head, use the crown of his helmet, draws the flag. And I'm a defensive guy, but I think that's the right call, and I feel for Jalen Davis. You see the frustration, the disdain as he goes into the locker room.
And after all that, it would have been fourth down had there not been that penalty call. So now can Wisconsin take advantage? Hornibrook rifles into traffic, and it's incomplete. Troy Fumagalli was the target. Dallin Levitt came up with a great play, and I think Dallin Levitt might have to be the guy to step up in the secondary now.
Well, he's been their emotional leader. Fumagalli running the in-cutting route. Excellent job by Dallin Levitt to get in there, disrupt that pass. Dallin Levitt, physical, tough. He's undersized, plays with reckless abandon, and a big play there on second down.
3rd down and 9. Pressure from the Aggies again. The ball was loose momentarily. Hornibrook was able to hold on to it and then got taken down at the 36-yard line. Ian Tongi brought pressure. Louis Compton was in the mix. Excellent defense again from the Aggies.
Well, Utah State's doing a really good job not showing exactly what they're in, disguising where it's coming from. Tongi off the edge from the boundary, gets to the quarterback. Not only gets the sack, but gets the ball out. Excellent job getting pressure from the Utah State defense once again.
So Anthony Lottie will punt away, and Zach Van Leeuwen will signal for a fair catch at the 27-yard line. Alex Hornibrook with a frustrating start to this contest. A stunning night so far in the first half for Badger fans everywhere. Miscues have been the story to open up the season at Camp Randall for the Badgers so far.
Yeah, it's their inability to protect Alex Hornibrook. A fumble right there that put Utah State in action that they score a touchdown off of. Drop passes, miscue after miscue. It's been penalties. And to Utah State's credit, they've done a lot with those miscues by the Wisconsin Badgers and are in great position here in the first half.
So now Paul Chryst defense is back out there. Here is Jordan Nathan on the perimeter, shoved out at the 31-yard line as we check in with Molly.
Adam, you remember Jim Leonard telling us calm is contagious. He's been exemplifying that all game. He's been very calm, never yelling at his players. His biggest message, they need to communicate better. That fast pace is keeping them from getting their calls out on time.
That's a great point. That's what tempo can do to you, Molly. El Toro Allen with his first touch of the night. And this is where Wisconsin can make some hay on the defensive side of the ball. Edwards, Dooley, Jamerson, these guys can penetrate.
Garrett Dooley's a guy been waiting to make a play. One of those outside linebackers, played well last year as a reserve and started a few games. Nice play right there behind the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and long. Flags fly. Myers takes a deep shot and overthrows Jaron Colston Green. One flag from the far side, one from the near side that we'll check.
Smart by Myers. Offsides on the defense. What do you do as a quarterback? Take your shot.
A free play if that's the case.
Offside. Defense, number 97. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
That was Isaiah Loudermilk who got tagged with it.
A little bit antsy. Moving a little bit soon.
Well, they called it on 97. They should have called it on 54. Yeah. That's on Chris.
I'm sorry, Mr. Loudermilk. I apologize. Hey, I feel you, man.
Oh, you've been there
I've
before.
been there. That's a bad place to be when you jump off sides. I'm telling you. You don't want to look at the coach.
Well, it makes it a little bit more manageable for Utah State. 3rd down and 6. Four-man rush. They get it out to Hunt. In space, very close to the marker. It looked like he had enough for the first down. And they'll mark him at the 39-yard line to move the chains. Utah State said we need to possess. We need to get first downs. We need to keep the tempo up. They've been able to do that so far.
But Juan Hunt just slips out of the backfield. No one's there to cover him. Kent Myers gets to his check down. Picks up a nice first down.
linebackers bringing pressure, but it's a screen against the blitz. Well defended by Chris Orr that time, right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. Kent Myers, quarterback, experienced. You talked about his mobility. What do you like so far?
I like his ability to throw the football, run this up-tempo, fast-paced offense. Ran extremely well.
But again, Wisconsin is there for the screen pass. TJ Edwards blows it up this time. The defensive MVP of the Cotton Bowl hits Damian Hobbs to set up 3rd down and long.
And you and I were watching film this week, getting ready for this game. That's what TJ Edwards does. Not just a guy you like in the run fits, but an outstanding guy, middle of the field coverage. This is where
here come the Badgers. Myers trying to run it, and he gets stopped shy of the sticks by TJ Edwards, just sitting in the middle of that field. 4th down.
brought the pressure like we thought. Kent Myers didn't like what he saw down the field. He did a smart thing, tucked it and see what he could get. But an excellent job in the open field by the senior TJ Edwards to make the tackle, get his defense off the field.
Nick Nelson back to return this Aaron Dalton punt. Dalton, the 3rd-year starter, boots it away. And a fair catch at the 20 for Nelson. TJ Edwards, a couple of big plays on that defensive series here in the 2nd largest city in Wisconsin, 250,000, many of them college students. They're a little surprised by the score tonight. We're in Madison.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Start game day strong with the new Breakfast Hash Brown Scramble Bowl.
Look at the Gilmore House, a residence built for Wisconsin professor Eugene Gilmore by the famous architect Frank Lloyd Wright. Chicago born and bred. He played in Chicago. Former Bear Dusty Dvorak, Oklahoma standout. Adam Amin, Molly McGrath is with us as well. I think a lot of folks are probably tuning in, looking at the score, going, what is happening in Madison? What's the most surprising thing to you so far?
A little shocking, actually, and it's the way the Utah State defense has come to play today. 3 sacks here early. They have a takeaway. And how about this? This Wisconsin offense, 29 yards and 1.5 yards per carry. Great job by Utah State taking the fight to the Badger offense.
On 1st down, they'll give it to Bradrick Shaw. And as he tried to get to the edge, an excellent play by Toback for Utah State. 3rd string inside linebacker, but that's what Utah State's defensive coordinators Frank Maile and Kendrick Shaver told us. They wanted a little bit more depth. They're rotating a lot of guys tonight.
They were inexperienced at linebacker coming in. They made it a point of emphasis in the offseason and recruiting to go get more talent. You've seen that talent on display here tonight.
You know, the number 9 team is having some struggles. Another top 10 team having some struggles. Adnan Virk is in the studio. Adnan.
Adam, great to be back with you once again on college football, my man. Washington and Rutgers. This is Dante Pettis. With Washington down, Pettis, special teams is lethal, bringing the Huskies back currently 10-7 early in the 3rd. I want to hear about your athletic prowess, Adam.
Nah, we don't need to talk about that at all, man. You said it, though, Adnan. How about Washington? Special teams getting them in front of Rutgers tonight out in Jersey. Hornibrook, open man out of the flat in A.J. Taylor, and he's got the 1st down out across the 40-yard line. Washington, a playoff team last year. Expectations abound. Expectations again for Tennessee. They open up as a top 25 team. Interesting matchup against Georgia Tech. Monday night, ESPN and the ESPN app. What do you think?
Who can run the football better? We know what Georgia Tech wants to do and who they want to be. Matthew Jordan, the quarterback, going to take over that triple option offense. And then with Tennessee, talked earlier, John Kelly working a new quarterback and expect a lot of runs between the Yellow Jackets and Volunteers.
There's Chris James with a strong 1st down run out near midfield. SEC is interesting to me, especially with a team like Tennessee. Where do they fit in that logjam of teams behind Alabama.
Well, on the eastern side, I got to put Florida. I put Georgia at the top of the East, and then I think it's kind of a cluster after that. It's a big year for Butch Jones this year. Fell short of expectations a season ago, and now a lot of guys departing. What's going to happen there with the Volunteer football team? Very intrigued, and we start to find out here this weekend. Another thing, SEC, ACC, I like that matchup.
Sure.
Kind of same part of the road both those teams are in their respective leagues.
Again, that'll essentially be a home game for Georgia Tech in Atlanta. It is
ATL.
basically. It's right in town, but that'll be at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. The second of two outstanding games this weekend behind Florida State and Alabama on Saturday. 3rd down and 3 for Wisconsin near midfield. Hornibrook, he's got his man in Cephas, and he's got the 1st down in Utah State territory.
This drive, huge for Alex Hornibrook.
Sure.
2 3rd downs in a row. He's comfortable, he's calm, and he's putting the football right where he needs to be. This is the first time the Badgers have been across midfield. How about that, Adam?
Who would have thought it? 6.5 in the second quarter.
Crazy. Let's see if they can build on a little bit of momentum they've got going on this drive right now.
Bradrick Shaw is the back. Shaw hopping ahead. This is a very simple offense. There's a lot of window dressing, though. Tell folks sitting at home what that means.
Well, what they do is not complex. It's smash mouth football. It's counters, it's lead weak, lead zone. But what they do, instead of go tempo, they take their time. And they want you to show your hand. And how do they get you to do that? Motions, shifts. Do you go with it? Are you in man? Are you in zone? Show us exactly what you want to do with blitzes. And they do it very, very well here in Madison, Wisconsin.
Much better on the last couple of drives. And head coach Matt Wells of Utah State will use his 2nd timeout of this first half. Back in a moment. Here at the University of Wisconsin, classes resume on Tuesday. So let's give you a little bit of a lesson about Madison. And let's tell you what an isthmus is, all right? Seattle and Madison are the only 2 major cities in the United States that are built on an isthmus. What is an isthmus? A narrow piece of land connecting 2 larger areas across an expanse of water that would otherwise separate them.
Are you sure they didn't misspell Christmas?
I think they may have.
I'm a nose tackle.
It's a war on isthmus
Oklahoma
in the United States, Dusty.
Vocabulary like that is a little above me.
Come on now.
Come on, Dusty. This is a place of higher learning.
Good point.
Molly's got a point here, man. On the stretch to the edge, Bradrick Shaw taken down by Dallin Levitt. 3rd down coming up for Wisconsin. Scoreless so far through the first 25 minutes of this game for Paul Chryst, the offensive mastermind behind what Wisconsin has done these last couple of years, returning as the head coach.
Hornibrook 2 for 2 on 3rd down on this drive. I'd be looking for 48. He typically wears 81. Troy Fumagalli, who's yet to really get involved in tonight's game.
Another timeout used here. We'll step aside with 4:52 to play. Utah State out of timeouts. Matt Wells became Utah State's head coach in December of 2012 after Gary Anderson left for Wisconsin. And a great start under Matt Wells. But the last year and a half, they've lost 18 of 17. And so many games have come down to 1 fumble, 1 pick, 1 blocked kick, 1 missed block. Whatever it may be, it's been a year and a half of demons for Utah State. They're trying to exercise those tonight with a big game in Madison.
They've had a bad taste in their mouth. Players, coaches, everybody. And you're exactly right. They're trying to get that taste out of their mouth here in Madison.
They've never beaten an AP top 10 team. And I believe David Edwards, the right tackle, moved.
False start. Offense number 79. 5-yard penalty remains. 3rd down.
And Utah State, certainly if they win this game, and listen, there's a long way to go. and it's only a 10-0 game. There's a significant way to go.
Right.
But this would be a turnaround win for this program and a big one for Matt, who's had a struggle the last year.
Absolutely. This would be exactly what Matt Wells and Utah State needs to change the trajectory of their program.
On 3rd down and 12, to the sticks and right on cue. That's the man you want to see if you're a Badger fan, Troy Fumagalli.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, if it's 3rd down, I'm going to this cat. He's 6'6". He's 250 pounds. He's one of the best tight ends in all of college football. Excellent job running routes, precise routes. Always knows how to find the open spot. Excellent route he runs, catches the ball with soft hands right at the sticks, and move the chains for the Badgers.
We'll set up shop at the 34-yard line. Swing it out for Cephas. And he's able to slip one block from Jamarcus Ingram. And spin to the 27-yard line on a gain of 7. Badger tight ends are important to this offense. Paul Chryst was a tight end coach here at Wisconsin at one point, and you said it. I think Fumagalli could be one of the best. Paul Chryst wasn't ready to crown him just yet, but he could be one of the best ever.
I think he probably thinks he is, but he's not going to give him that credit just yet.
Sure.
He wants him to earn it. He wants him to work on it. Fumagalli, a former walk-on, now one of the best tight ends in the country. But it's not just him. They go 3 deep at tight end, and they play them, they block, they catch the football.
There is Shaw, nothing there, and it's Mason Toback again. Again, this is the 3rd string inside linebacker who's already had 4 tackles in this first half.
Toback, good nose for the football. Excellent plays. He fights through a block.
Look at his coaches and teammates. This is a guy who's not going to get a ton of snaps week in and week out unless he keeps doing what he's doing tonight. That is a big performance in this first half.
As a player, when you get a chance, step up and make some plays. He's doing that here tonight.
12th play of this Badger drive. Against the pressure. Hornibrook looking for Fumagalli. Boy, that looked like the lunge he had in the Cotton Bowl last year. Working against Aaron Wade, and multiple flags are thrown. Jacoby Wildman applied pressure on Alex Hornibrook, and we'll see if that hit on Hornibrook has anything to do with one of these flags.
Jacoby Wildman puts a spin move on the right tackle.
There are 2 fouls on the defense. Holding, defense number 9. That penalty's declined. Personal foul, roughing the passer, low hit on the quarterback, defense number 19. Penalize half the distance to the goal line, automatic 1st down.
Ian Tongiai hits Alex Hornibrook below the knee. Here on the right side. Tough shot. Good call by the official. We want to protect quarterbacks when they're in the pocket, give them the ability to step in their throws and not have to worry about bodies falling on their legs. And one thing Paul Chryst does that I really respect, and I didn't realize that he does this with his quarterbacks, he makes them wear a brace on the knee of the front leg. So when they plant and they throw and they step into a throw, that knee at least has some protection for shots like we just saw there.
1st down and 10. Good cut made by Jonathan Taylor, and he'll work his way to the 10-yard line. If a passer is in a passing posture, you cannot forcibly hit him at the knee or below. So that's why Tongiai got tagged with that roughing the passer penalty. So Wisconsin in the red zone now. Look at the touchdown percentage. Don't really look at just the overall percentage. Are you cashing in with 6? Pretty decent percentage last year for the Badgers in this area of the field. It's Taylor in motion, but a dive to the fullback, Austin Ramish, and he gets very close to the 1st down marker, about a yard shy. Career carry number 18 for the fullback. So it's 3rd down and 1.
It's big boy football.
Yeah.
Fullback dives, didn't even know those still existed.
So you got 2 minutes to go in this first half. Big 3rd down and 1 here. for the Badgers, trying to get on the board on their longest and best drive in their opener. Right back up the middle, first down for Bradrick Shaw. So now you got first and goal. Dusty, you're Alex Hornibrook. You're Joe Rudolph, the OC. You're Paul Chris calling the plays. Where do you want to go right now?
Right behind that big, physical offensive line. The only thing I would do other than pound that football into the end zone, play action pass, and maybe throw a lob ball to my big tight end, Troy Fumagalli.
They're going to go 3 tight ends for Joe Rudolph's offense here. With a fullback. Shaw. Bradrick Shaw leaping to the goal line, and he is in for a touchdown. And boy, did the Badgers need that.
Well, you asked me what to do. Get behind the big uglies and run the football. Power O, and Bradrick Shaw dives into the end zone to put the Badgers on the board here late in the second.
The healthy Rafael Gaglianone is back as the kicker. The back injury last year for the Brazilian limited him to just 3 games. So the Badgers are on the board. Still 1:12 for this first half as we check in with Ryerson's finest, Adnan Burke.
The first of many Ryerson Rams mentions this year. Thanks so much, Adam. Coming up on the halftime report, Jesse Palmer and Joey Gallo will tell you who to look forward to winning the Big Ten. Of course, Ohio State struggled last night. Wisconsin stumbling here early. Speaking of stumbling, Washington has their hands full with Rutgers in Piscataway. We'll have highlights of that one as well. And Star Watch of what to look forward to. Alabama and Florida State counting down the hours to that game on ABC. Back to my star, Adam and Dustin.
Appreciate it, Adnan. Interesting, they're going to talk a little Big Ten. Wisconsin, probably the favorite. There's no official Big Ten poll about who's going to win each division, but the Badgers are certainly the favorite in the West. Ohio State the favorite in the East. Do you think Ohio State's the favorite based on what you saw in Bloomington last night?
I do. I still think they're the favorite. That's a talented football team. I love their defensive front. That defensive line is nasty. It's deep. And it felt like, you know, in that third quarter when Ohio State rolled their sleeves up, gave it to J.K. Dobbins, and then got Paris Campbell going. You saw the athleticism. You saw the explosiveness. You saw how good the Buckeyes can be.
They got a player in Dobbins, man. How about that debut
Big
for
time.
that Ohio State Buckeye? Again, there's no official Big Ten poll, so it's basically a media poll. This is what the media that covers the Big Ten each week believes. Ohio State, the favorite in the East. Wisconsin, the favorite in the West. We said at the top of the broadcast, though, Wisconsin's a contender, not only for the Big Ten title, but for the college football playoff. Let's reiterate why.
Their schedule is very advantageous. Toughest game they play all year, Michigan at home.
At home, that's right.
Our ESPN FPI has them favored in every game they play this season.
Kent Myers underneath, intercepted off the fingertips of the freshman Carson Terrell, and there is T.J. Edwards, and oh boy, this thing could turn around fast for the Badgers here.
But you have to think David Yost is wondering, why did we just take into the half? Tries to hit his tight end. Ball pops off his hands, and T.J. Edwards, Johnny on the spot, has the Badgers inside the red zone here with a minute to play in the half.
Utah State was on the brink of going into halftime for the second straight trip to Madison with a lead. That could be in jeopardy here with the Badgers trying to close strong at the end of this first half. Hornibrook fires, end zone, overthrown for both Fumagalli and Peavy, and that'll bring up second down and 10. Good pressure for Utah State's defense by Nyase Toto Schuster. much sharper these last couple of series for Wisconsin.
And that's what we're used to seeing from Wisconsin. Methodical drive.
Yeah.
15 plays. Converting on third down. Remember, 5 for 5 on third down that previous drive. That's Wisconsin Badger football.
Does Utah State have a stand in them at the end of this first half? Hornibrook to throw again. Magali, incomplete. Broken up by Dallin Levitt at the last moment. That's a couple of plays that Levitt has made on the ball in this first half.
Dallin Levitt seems to be all over the place. Got an excellent nose for the football. Hornibrook puts it up to let his big tight end go up and make a play. And the undersized Dallin Levitt.
You're not kidding about that, man.
Well, that's a mismatch, isn't it? But the little guy getting up there, getting his hand in there.
That's me boxing you out for the last cheese curd.
Well, that would never happen. You know that. That cheese curd's mine, man.
Come on. Third down and 10 for Wisconsin here. Pressure from the Aggies. Hornibrook getting rid of it fast. And at the 11-yard line, it's A.J. Taylor in front of Cameron Haney, shy of the sticks. Dusty, what's your call here? Fourth down.
Oh, you kick a field goal. Let this clock run down to about 3 or 4. Kick the field goal, go in half, tied, and be happy you're tied with the way you played for the majority of the first half.
What do you think Paul Chryst's message is going to be when they hit the locker room?
We played as bad as we could possibly play, and we're tied. I mean, I think that's his message.
Yeah, assuming they make this field goal, that's going to be the case. And if Rafael Gaglianone is back to form, this will likely be a chip shot make for the Brazilian.
The Badgers just have to clean things up, right? Penalties, giving up sacks that's uncharacteristic of them, turnovers, the mistakes, shooting themselves in the foot. That's the major thing Paul Chryst is going to want to touch on and remind his team, hey, let's just be smart. Let's play Badger football and we're fine.
Again, we're leading you up to a great Saturday to open up the season. Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo, the Chick-fil-A kickoff game. Number 3 Florida State, number 1 Alabama. Talk to me about the trenches. Not enough people are talking about the trenches in that game.
The biggest storyline for me, can Florida State block Alabama up front? This is a Florida State offensive line last year that had their struggles. Francois hit or sacked 81 times last year, most in the ACC. Can they block the Crimson Tide up front and give Francois a chance?
Gaglianone for his first field goal try in nearly a year. He looks healthy. The Badgers look much healthier in the final 2 minutes of that first half. And after a slight scare from this Utah State bunch, the Badgers come back to tie the game late in this first half, and they will have the ball to start half number 2. 10-10. Football's back. It's back here at Camp Randall, and my man is back from Bloomington. Adnan Burke in the studio. You're watching the Big Ten on ESPN. A quick turnaround for Wisconsin at the end of that first half. After trailing 10-0 to Utah State, the Badgers come back quickly to tie it, and they get the ball to start half number 2. A.J. Taylor will bring it out from 3 yards deep. A.J. Taylor with a good return out across the 25-yard line. With Utah State on defense, this was one of the turning points of that first half. Jalen Davis, by the letter of the law, accurately called for targeting. So he, the veteran of this Utah State defense, is out for the rest of this game. He was sitting in the tunnel watching the game on the Jumbotron, hoping that his team can step up. This was the storyline of the first half. Utah State with a quick blitz. Wisconsin with the same at the end of the first half. And Alex Hornibrook goes back to work with a handoff to the freshman Jonathan Taylor. And here goes the speedster out into Utah State territory at the 31-yard line. That's the play that got the guys excited in camp.
And the offensive line play is what got him going on that final drive. The offensive line starting to impose its will.
Officials timeout.
Excellent cutback by the true freshman Jonathan Taylor. Runs through the arm tackle, and you see the speed out in the open field.
41-yard run for Jonathan Taylor, freshman out of Salem, New Jersey, Salem High School. Taiwan Deal is dealing with a right leg injury, so Taylor ends up becoming the third running back. Dusty, we were talking at halftime. Wisconsin, an excellent rushing team, could not get going. Suddenly, that's the breakout play for the Badger offense.
Utah State held this Wisconsin rushing attack in check. Under 2 yards per carry. They were physical. Linebackers flying around, taking their chances, playing the other side of the football. But we saw in the next to the last drive, when they finally got that touchdown, we saw the push. We saw these big guys for Wisconsin starting to impose their will. Use that momentum heading into the half. And we see it here on the first play of the second.
And now the redshirt junior Chase Christiansen limps to the sideline. Mason Toback, who did a really good job on the inside for Utah State's defense, comes into the game for the Aggies. Here is Taylor again. And Jonathan Taylor fighting on 2 carries. This true freshman already has more rushing yards than the Badgers had the entire first half. And there is Jalen Davis. He was the first ever Utah State true freshman starting cornerback 3 years ago. He is limited now to sitting in the tunnel to watch this game.
He was having a heck of a game to start. Had a sack, pass breakup, tight coverage. I feel for Jalen Davis. The right call was made, but that was a competitive play, and you hate to see the senior not get a chance to be out there with his teammates.
Right back to Taylor. Third down and short coming up here.
We talk to the coaches anytime we mention Jonathan Taylor, their eyes lit up.
Yep. He set the New Jersey record with 2,815 yards last year. Guess whose record he broke? Former Badger running back, who's now with the Eagles, Corey Clement. That was breaking his South Jersey record. So that's quite the billing to live up to in your first game as a collegiate running back. Third down and 2. Hornibrook rolling. Wide open Fumagalli. Badgers take the lead for the first time. Fourth career touchdown grab for Troy Fumagalli. Gaglianone adds the extra point, and it's 17 unanswered for the Badgers.
Little misdirection. They're going to fake the jet sweep to the right. Full flow by the offensive line, and Fumagalli slips out the back door. Wide open, and Alex Hornibrook finds his All-American candidate tight end, and the Badgers get on top.
Just lean back and let it go.
Troy Fumagalli coming off a career season. Former walk-on, placed on scholarship before the 2015 season, and was as impactful as any player for this Wisconsin offense a year ago. And the Badgers have scored 17 unanswered to take their first lead of the night. Tony Lindsay shut down at the 15-yard line. Back to the touchdown that put the Badgers in front.
Well, it's going to be a full flow to the right. The offense is working to the right. You'll see the linebackers get sucked up, and then Troy Fumagalli gets right behind the linebacker depth. Wide open target for his quarterback, Alex Hornibrook. That's what running the football sets up, Adam. It sets up that defense. They've got to respect it. They're flying downhill. You can play action boot and find the big tight end, Troy Fumagalli.
So now what do you got, Kent Myers? Trailing for the first time tonight, the senior. Underneath, and he finds Jordan Nathan, who loses his helmet. So he will have to come off the field for a play. It's a gain of 5 on first down for the Aggies.
Leave the game for one play, so I'm off.
Well, Red Sox Yankees coming up on Sunday Night Baseball as well. Good pitching matchup, important game. Chris Sale, I think the front runner for AL Cy Young Award right now, against Luis Severino. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, half an hour earlier at 7:30 Eastern. Myers, deep, picked off by Dakota Dixon. And now the Badger defense is beginning to step it up. Back-to-back takeaways for Wisconsin. And right to Kent Myers, who apparently saw something that nobody else saw.
Well, Kent Myers, it felt almost like desperation. He's trying to force a play. It's double coverage down the field. Kent Myers wants to make a play, wants to have a spark on the run, on the move. That's a bad decision by the senior quarterback, taking a shot down the field in a double coverage. And Dakota Dixon gets the Badgers the ball back. And your Uncle Mo, I think he's in the building.
Momentum in the last 3.5 minutes of the first half, and these first 2.5 of the second half. It's well within Wisconsin's favor right now. They were so good a year ago at taking the ball away, and they've done it on back-to-back drives. Hornibrook taking a shot, another open man. It's Jazz Peavy inside the 35-yard line of the Aggies.
Good arm strike there by Alex Hornibrook. Come back on the sidelines, steps into the throw, on time and on target to the senior wide receiver, Mr. Peavy.
From the 34, Shaw up into the air and down near the 28-yard line. Suli Tamaivena there with the stop, a junior college All-American.
Those holes, Adam, are starting to widen out. Big gaping holes there within the offensive line of Wisconsin.
This is kind of the grind that you have to deal with as a defense playing against Wisconsin.
It is, and then the fact that you were just on the field, the turnover, you're back on the field, you're tired, and now you're getting hit in the mouth.
Play action. Open in the flat. It is Xander Neville. And Xander Neville finds the space. His first career reception is a touchdown. How about that? What a moment for the redshirt junior out of Wapaka, Wisconsin. Xander Neville is playing his 28th career game. His first career catch is a score to make it 24 straight. And Jim Leonard's defense doing the job again, setting it up for the Badger offense to take the lead. More on the former Wisconsin All-American with Molly on the other side. Second year on staff, first year as a defensive coordinator, 34 years of age. Jim Leonard goes 40 with Molly McGrath.
Best 40 time?
4.45.
Could you beat any of your players in a foot race?
Not anymore. Those days are over.
You versus Natrell Jamerson in a dunk contest. Who wins?
I'm going to take me. I know he's strong. I know he can run. He's got to prove that he can jump.
I like the confidence. Okay, New York or Madison?
I love Madison. There's no place like home.
Favorite pregame meal?
Mickey's Diner, straight across the road from the stadium.
And are you nervous a little bit for the game?
Nah, just excited. The guys have put in the work, and now it's time to roll.
All right, best of luck. That was 40 yards with Jim Leonard.
Thank you.
I hope our man Jay Billis is sitting on his couch watching that. I know he'll appreciate it. Got the 94 feet. Boog Shambi, my guy, 90 feet on the base paths as well in Major League Baseball. We had to have a little bit of fun with Jim Leonard. Molly, I know you had a good time talking with this guy who is going to turn 35 8 weeks from tonight.
Yeah, Adam, and Jim Leonard wasn't completely honest with us. He told me that his favorite place is exactly where he's living. He learned that the hard way with his 7 stops in the NFL, so maybe his answers weren't totally honest there, but to his credit, he's a Wisconsin guy through and through. He's from a town called Tony with a population of just over 100.
Flambeau High School grad, walk-on defensive back at Wisconsin, turns into a 3-time All-American, and then a 10-year NFL veteran. And at just 34 years of age, he's calling one of the best defenses in college football. How about Ronquavion Tarver going up top with Derek Tyndall? Speaking of going up top, come on. That's 2003. 5'8" Jim Leonard during the Wisconsin team dunk contest. Going high to jam one down. That's pretty impressive.
Jim Leonard is impressive. The dunk's impressive. His story's impressive. And if you have a chance to sit down with him, talk defense, and just kind of pick his brain a little bit, that's an impressive young man who's taken over his alma mater's defense. And really, since that first quarter they had some struggles, this Wisconsin Badger defense has settled in and started to play some good football.
Molly made a great point in the first half. The communication was a little off with Jim Leonard, with the pace of Utah State. That has improved as the game has gone on. 2nd down and 21 after the offensive pass interference penalty against Ronquavion Tarver against Derek Tyndall. Myers with the pressure getting to him, throws it quick through the hands of Lindsey, and it's 3rd down and 21. I know there's still 10 and a half to go in the 3rd. This feels like it could be a knockout play for Utah State's offense if they don't convert.
The crowd's got energy. The defense has energy. They smell blood right now.
8 back in coverage. Myers has to go underneath. And the play to Lindsey shut down by T.J. Edwards. And after giving up that opening salvo to Utah State, man, this defense looks like a Wisconsin defense of the last 5 years.
Excellent coverage down the field. Kenton Myers with nowhere to go with the football but to check it down and send his punt team on the field.
Aaron Dalton will kick away to Nick Nelson. Beauty of a punt. Great hang time all the way back to the 40-yard line. 10 to play here in the 3rd. Utah State was playing strong on defense. Jalen Davis still angry back in the tunnel right now, watching his defense struggle.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Jiffy Lube, proudly pouring Pennzoil Synthetics.
Our friends here in Madison at Fromage E Nation, 10 years strong in Madison, state of Wisconsin, if you're unaware, and I'm sure you were. It's the largest producer of cheese in the United States. It's the only state to offer a master cheesemaker program. So if this thing for you and I doesn't work out, Dusty, I know what our next thing's going to be, as Jazz Peavy runs it. It's all about the presentation. Am I right? I feel like it's all about the presentation. So
speaking of which, that looks really. Is that blue?
I think that's the blue.
Is it?
I think that's all you, man.
Is that okay?
That's the Dunbarton blue.
Ooh.
So this is the Wisconsin finest starting lineup from our friends at Fromage E Nation. They did a great job with this. Molly went to Paris actually at one point during this summer break before the football season started. I mean, this is equivalent to the Paris cheese I'm sure you were knocking out, right? A little camembert and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a little jealous you guys have a cheese plate going on up there while I'm down here on the sidelines.
Well, I'll tell you, my jacket pretty much smells of it, so I'll just give that to you after the game, and you'll be able to experience it with everybody else.
That's attractive.
That sure is. Bradrick Shaw, speaking of attractive, the running game for Wisconsin looking very appealing over the last couple of drives. Doing what they do best.
We talk about Fumagalli being a complete tight end on the edge. Combo, then he gets to the second level, he buries the safety and springs Shaw for a big game.
26-yard run. And for those NFL scouts looking for a tight end to fit into their pro-style system, I think Troy Fumagalli is a great fit.
Fantastic fit. He can do it all. Catch the football, run great routes, getting better and better as a blocker as well.
Shaw's upended. Again, we go back to the turning point of this game. I know we've showed this play to you multiple times. You're thinking, why are we talking about this play? Here's why. This is the veteran of the Utah State defense, and since he's been ejected from this game, all Wisconsin.
They lost their juice. They lost their guy. And ever since he's been gone, this game has completely changed course.
You got a redshirt freshman there in Ingram. You got a guy in Rockamore who has some experience, but not a ton. Hornibrook firing, and it's incomplete. Dropped by A.J. Taylor. A couple of surprising drops from some of these Wisconsin receivers tonight.
Second one by Taylor. It's an excellent throw by Hornibrook. Talk about his anticipation, being on time and on rhythm with his receivers. Ball was delivered as soon as the receiver gets out of his break, right there where he needs to catch it. Taylor's got to do a better job catching that football.
Taylor's just a sophomore. They are missing their deep threat. George Rushing is out tonight with a left leg injury. They have a guy in Kendrick Pryor who's out with facial injuries due to a moped accident he had before the season began. Now looking for the freshman Danny Davis, and a penalty marker is thrown against Wesley Bailey of Utah State, one of the backup corners who's stepping in for Davis.
Hornibrook picking on the side that Davis usually mans. Clearly interference, contact while the ball was in the air.
Pass interference, defense number 8, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Think about where we were at with just a few minutes to go at the end of this first half.
And let's go back to that. You know, it's a 10-7 ball game. Wisconsin just scores just over a minute, and Utah State comes out and throws the ball. You think, take your 10-7 lead into half and be happy with that. But the turnover happens, the field goal happens, the momentum shifted, and it's been all Wisconsin since.
Feels a little bit like last night in Bloomington, a little bit like it. Here is Taylor. Ooh. He busts to the outside, and Jonathan Taylor has these Badger fans salivating right now. Touchdown, Wisconsin. The first of Taylor's career.
Well, Jonathan Taylor's been the talk around Madison. Inside handoff. Runs into some of his offensive linemen, keeps the legs turning, head up, vision, and the speed to the edge as the freshman takes it into the end zone.
Let me tell you this kid's 100-meter dash time and see if you're impressed by it. As a junior, 10.61. As
it's pretty good.
Pretty decent,
yeah,
right?
Pretty good.
As a senior, 10.63 into the wind.
Ooh.
And that was some of that breakaway speed after he bounced it to the outside.
They've been seeing this from Jonathan Taylor all throughout camp. Big plays, explosive plays. Everyone in Madison excited about the true freshman from New Jersey.
31 unanswered for the Badgers. Nice little appetizer for the weekend. We've got a huge Saturday of college football. Your best friend is the ESPN app. We're traveling tomorrow back to our homes. We'll be on the ESPN app during the day watching the start of the college football season. I know Molly's going to be doing a little bit of the same, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right, Adam. I'm here with a front row seat to the Badgers doing their thing in the second half. But I'm also keeping track of Lane Kiffin's first game as a head coach at FAU. You can see that it's not going so well for him. They're down 35-13. There is a delay because of lightning. That's over on ESPNU. So the ESPN app also working really well down here on the field.
And again, Lane Kiffin's coming here next week, Mal. That's the next opponent for the Wisconsin Badgers, part of the new blood in the Sunshine State.
Charlie Strong got off to a good start, but Butch Davis, Lane Kiffin, rough starts at their respective new locations. A lot of success on those coaching staffs there.
Undoubtedly, absolutely. By the way, if you're looking for the resumption of that game, it comes in about 10 minutes on ESPN News. So if you're a Badger fan, I mean, keep watching. Keep patronizing our sponsors, too, please. But if you want to get a sneak peek at one of the future opponents for the Badgers and what Lane Kiffin's going to look like next week, feel free to flip over in about 10 minutes to ESPN News. Dakota Dixon, another strong defensive play on Braylon Roberts out on the perimeter. Has an interception already tonight, part of this Wisconsin surge. Myers sacked. Isaiah Loudermilk, the redshirt freshman, with his first career sack. Welcome to the big show, young man.
Well, they love this guy. He is massive. 6'7", 305. Oof. He's got great size and length. Gained quite a bit of weight here in the offseason. Using his hands, gets inside the guard. He keeps working. He keeps working. 6'7", 305. Oof. It's a mountain of a man.
Just bullied.
See the hands, though? You see the arm over. He just kept working the hands, working the hands.
He's part of the front four on the rush for Wisconsin. Long pass caught by Roberts, but shy of the sticks by about 3 yards. You're talking about the size of Loudermilk. You mentioned it. Not even an 11-man football player. He was an 8-man football player in the state of Kansas. Some of the Wisconsin people were telling me when they saw him on tape, it looked like they were watching a Pee-wee football game, and then a college kid showed up to play with everybody.
He's already put on 40, 50 pounds since he's been here. Ross Kalaji, the head strength coach, does an excellent job putting size on. And I think Isaiah Loudermilk, we're going to hear a lot from this young man throughout the season.
Excellent basketball player in a great basketball state in Kansas. Down goes Nelson. And Wisconsin takes over. You know, we're all thinking about what's going on down in Texas, especially in the city of Houston and the surrounding areas. A former Badger is doing unreal things for that community.
We started out on Sunday with the goal of raising $200,000, and we just now surpassed the $10 million mark. I'm going to leave the link open. We're going to see how high we can get it. I can't say thank you enough. Celebrities, musicians, athletes, kids with their lemonade stands, and people hosting fundraisers, businesses donating. I cannot thank everybody enough.
That number keeps climbing higher and higher, almost $16 million that J.J. Watt has helped raise. Looking for Danny Davis, incomplete, but a flag is thrown with Dallin Levitt in coverage. Clearly making a concerted effort to get maybe Danny Davis the football here, one of their faster young wide receivers.
Love his ball skills. Think he can go up and track the football. Is good.
Prior to the pass being thrown, holding, defense, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
We showed you what J.J. Watt has been doing. Of course, the thousands affected by Hurricane Harvey urgently need your support. You can help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to a lot of the families that have been displaced. Donate today. You go to redcross.org/ESPN. You can go on there right now and donate to help those that have been suffering so much over the course of this last week and a half. But man, if the J.J. Watt stuff and everything else that's been going on doesn't make you feel at least a little better about it. And it's been so tough to see, but awesome stuff from a lot of the folks in that community. Derek Tyndall, who has run the football before, takes it outside. Good run, but a flag is thrown. And there is an injured Aggie down on the field.
Personal foul. Illegal block below the waist. Offense number 5. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
Chris James got called for that penalty. It was Dallin Levitt who was down on the field. You see him with the cut block.
Tyndall comes in. They said that the cornerback, they've been working him in on the offensive side. They give him a jet sweep. And Tyndall, the running back, gets called for the flag.
Once the ball leaves the tackle box, any blocks have to come directly from the front. 10-2 if you're looking at a clock. So it has to come from 10-2 on the imaginary wheel of the front of the player who's being blocked. So they're kind of saying it's coming from low and from the side.
That's tough, though, man. I thought that was a good block, to be honest.
On the open field.
Yeah.
Back to the ground here in James, and the ball coming loose at the 38-yard line. Aggies believe they have it here. And indeed they do. Don Willard calls it the other way. Louis Compton coming out of the pack with the recovery for Utah State. Another Wisconsin turnover.
Really nice job punching the ball out. That's an excellent job by the defensive lineman, Songai Polu. Excellent job punching that ball out. And Utah State trying to give themselves a little bit of momentum as they get a takeaway and have the football on the Badger side of the field.
Mohalika Waske, a sophomore at 22 years of age. A true sophomore at age 22 with the punch out. Good play by Andrew Van Ginkel of the Wisconsin linebacking unit. Tackle for a loss on Jordan Nathan. Second down. Chick-fil-A kickoff game, Saturday Night Football on ABC. Number 3 Florida State, number 1 Alabama. Ooh. Edwards nearly picks it off as Myers was on the move looking for Nathan again.
Excellent play by TJ Edwards. Leave his feet. Hit the pass breaker. He's been really good in coverage today, Adam.
Keep it conservative on 3rd down and 12. And Lindsey gets taken down by Alec James after a run of 4 yards. So that'll bring up 4th down.
2-down territory. Just cut it in half. Run the football. Make it 4th and manageable.
See if they can keep their offense on the field here. Myers rifles it into traffic, deflected and incomplete. Looking for Ronquavian Tarver, and Natrell Jamerson popped it into the air, and TJ Edwards nearly had another interception. But it is a turnover on downs, and Wisconsin takes over, up by 3 scores.
TJ Edwards picking up right where he left off from the Cotton Bowl. Not only delivers the big hit to cause the PBU, almost gets himself a pick. Excellent sequence there for the senior linebacker.
Well, let's take a look at this Wisconsin offense. Alex Hornibrook back to work. They have Jonathan Taylor in there once again. Slips one tackle, and he's got a great run for a first down. Hit by Rockamore. Tonight's Comfort Zone brought to you by Wrangler, and it is Paul Christ back in his comfort zone in Madison, Wisconsin. The son of a coach. His late father George coached high school and coached at Wisconsin Platteville. And Paul Christ, this is really the job that it feels like he was meant to have when he was able to come back after 3 years at Pitt, take over at his alma mater where he was a quarterback.
He's all Badger through and through, and it's not just him. He's got a staff filled with former Wisconsin Badgers.
His offensive coordinator Joe Rudolph, who ended up playing in the NFL. Jim Leonard, his new defensive coordinator. A bunch of other guys, including position coaches, have been Wisconsin Badgers as well. This is a tight-knit group of coaches.
Says he wants to put coaches around him he can trust, guys he knows. And boy, there's something special about this Wisconsin place. When you come play here and you're a part of this program, you are all in. And Paul Christ has surrounded himself with coaches that are all in for this program.
He's got a man, and it is Fumagalli once again out across the 40 of Utah State, down to the 36-yard line.
Now, one thing I loved when we talked with Fumagalli is I asked him, do you still play with that chip? Do you still think about being that walk-on? And he said, absolutely, every day. You never forget where you came from. That's how he plays. I really respect that. He plays with a toughness, with an edge, really showing up here tonight.
I thought it was interesting when you relayed a conversation that you had with the assistant strength and conditioning coach here at Wisconsin, Shad Williams. As they run a screen from Alec Indoor, that he takes it close to a first down. He basically said, talking about this program, that it's a team full of Dusty Dvorak's. I thought that was an interesting comment to make, but he personalized it for you. How did that make you feel?
It made me feel really good because as I look around, they remind me of me. I was a lunch pail guy, a three-star guy, wasn't highly sought after from my high school. No one had ever been given a scholarship. Toughness, work ethic, and that's what I brought to the table, and that's why I was able to have a little success. That's exactly the recipe that the Wisconsin Badgers use in their recruiting and in their coaching staff.
Louis Compton providing the pressure. That should be an incomplete pass, and it is. What's going on, Lake Dallas High School? This was your path to a very unfortunate circumstance, having to stand next to me on Friday nights over the course of this season. But again, blue-collar type of guy. You were a three-star guy. You weren't the highest sought-after recruit. I was having a lot of discussions with people today about this Wisconsin program. Let's compare it to Ohio State.
Right.
Ohio State goes out, gets the five-star guys, and they adjust to the guys.
That's right.
Here, they get the three-star guys and make them adjust to the system, but they get the right guys to do it.
They recruit personnel for what they do. They go out and they look for a certain type of guy that does exactly what they want to do. It's an outstanding formula that's really paid dividends. It's paying dividends for Paul Christ. We can go all the way back to Barry Alvarez, Brett Bielema, everyone that's come through here. That's the formula. That's the recipe. We know who we are. We know what we want to be. We know what we want to do. They recruit that way and have a ton of success with it.
And that's not an indictment against Ohio State, by the way.
Not
it's just
at all.
a different way to go about it to find success.
I would say of the teams that I've watched, I have not come across a team that does more with less. And I don't mean that negatively because they got great players here at Wisconsin.
Sure, absolutely.
But does more with less anywhere in the country. Truly remarkable, the program and the buy-in here at Wisconsin.
How about that grab? Quintez Cephas for his first career touchdown reception.
Alex Hornibrook's going to give his receiver Cephas a chance on the outside. A little behind the receiver. Excellent adjustment by the receiver. Back shoulder. And you see the strong hands bringing the ball in.
It's been a tough year for Quintez Cephas, a sophomore out of Macon, Georgia. On April the 3rd, his dad, Andre Taylor, was shot outside of a grocery store in Macon. He was alive, but he was in very critical condition. He got a phone call from one of his friends to come home. He raced home, had an opportunity to be with his father. Andre unfortunately passed away the next day. But Quintez, who is still fighting the memories and the pain of that incident from back in April, said he's been leaning a lot on his teammates. I think you're seeing that right now.
It's got to be a good feeling for the young man. A lot of emotion. Good for him.
38 unanswered for the Wisconsin Badgers.
And not very much time, no. I might add, Adam.
About a quarter plus. Lindsey. Near the 20.
We talked in the beginning, this Wisconsin football team is a contender for the Big Ten as well as the college football playoff. People might have been watching at home that first half going, is this guy crazy? This is what we anticipated. This is what we expected. And you're starting to see some of the talent and just how good this Wisconsin Badger football team is capable of being.
First time as an AP preseason top 10 team in a decade. Myers.
Myers pass incomplete.
Obviously, this was a game that Wisconsin came in as a heavy favorite. But Utah State, I'll be curious to watch them as the season goes on and see how they do indeed try to bounce back from what was a rocky season in 2016.
If they can build off that first half, the way they came out, played defense, really brought the fight to Wisconsin. It seemed like they got Kent Myers comfortable. He had some confidence going. If they can play football like that, I think they're going to have some success this year in the Mountain West.
Which is a much improving conference, especially the Mountain Division where Utah State is in.
Wyoming.
Boise State on that side as well.
New Mexico's a program on the rise under Bob Davie.
They've been to back-to-back bowl games last 2 years, New Mexico.
Offside. Defense number 99. Moving the neutral zone with contact. That 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Olive Songapolu, junior out of Pogo Pogo in American Samoa. That will wind down the seconds of this third quarter. Oh, it's
you
time.
know it's coming.
It's coming.
You know it's coming.
One of the great traditions in college football takes place before the fourth quarter, and the Badgers are feeling good on opening night. Football's back, baby.
All ESPN coverage is streaming live on the ESPN app. Download now and take ESPN everywhere.
Oh, that was cool. I know you guys didn't get to experience it at home. We'll tell you about it in a second. But the first jump around of 2017 was pretty awesome to be a part of. As Myers fires, ball's loose, and into the hands of one of the offensive linemen in Rob Castaneda. Went off the hands of Carson Terrell, and Castaneda, the lineman, with his first career reception. How about that?
It's a nice moment for an old lineman. Doesn't happen very often. Dakota Dixon with a big pop.
Yep.
To jar that ball loose.
Well, first down here, and Utah State will pick up a couple with Lawan Hunt.
He was pretty good with the ball in his hand, too. You see him fighting for more yards?
Rob Castaneda, former Texas Tech Red Raider, went to junior college and now at Utah State. Nathan. Leon Jacobs is out on the perimeter, and he'll grab him and bring him down.
Leon Jacobs, a specimen. We saw him earlier, gunned up like my man Adam over here. And what a nice.
Yeah, thanks for that, G. I appreciate it.
You're in the gym today.
Yeah, with Leon. He was bench pressing me, actually, for his workout today.
You could see there, though, the speed, the athleticism, make a nice tackle on the reverse.
They're down at 9 for Utah State. Shallow cross and through the hands of Savon Scarver. 4th down.
Scarver seemed like he was worrying about taking a shot. We've seen a lot of Utah State Aggie receivers go across the middle here in the second half and pay the price. That right there might have been a receiver seeing his teammates getting hit, and he wanted no part of it.
Jazz Peavy back to return for Wisconsin. Aaron Dalton. It's a nice bounce. Down to the 11. We told you about the great tradition of jump around. We'll give you a little bit of a flavor of it when we come back to Madison. Tonight's legendary moment brought to you by Destiny 2. It is legendary. Molly McGrath's a legend. Yeah, there it is. That's what I wanted to see. Molly jumping around. Molly, you were in the stands for that. Tell me what it was like. For those who've never been part of it, what's that like?
Adam, for all the stadiums I've been to, this was one of the coolest experiences I've had. To be able to go up to the stands and experience that moment with the fans, they were just as excited as I was to be there. They were so pumped that someone from ESPN was up in the stands. It was really cool. I couldn't hear a thing, though.
That's fair. A.J. Taylor with a good grab. Jump around started back in 1998, the October 10th homecoming game when Drew Brees and Purdue came into town. Rare night game. Your buddy Nick Greiser was telling you about this.
Yeah, they didn't have lights here at the stadium at the time. They brought the lights in. The people went nuts. Look at Molly. How's she doing? Come on, Molly. Molly, listen.
But break this down.
What I need you to do, I need you to jump higher. I need you to get up. I need you to be loud.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't know if they showed it, but I fell a couple times.
Did you really?
I was so excited I tripped. It took over me.
It looked like fun.
It was pretty cool, man. And back in 98 when they started this thing, they didn't have a whole lot of night games.
Right.
This is just the 19th night game ever at Camp Randall. It's still a bit of a rarity here.
It is. And at night, from the 3rd to the 4th quarter, when they play the jump around, it gets a little crazy, as we just witnessed here. Awesome tradition.
The kids might say it's lit, I think, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. You're right.
I mean, she got a little bit higher.
I like
on the last one.
Well, the arm up. That's a good look. Oh, come on.
She almost went down, man.
Oh, man.
She almost went down twice.
I'm trying to convince people that I go here, okay? I went to a spin class this morning, and they played jump around, and everyone went nuts. It was amazing. But, yeah, I'm not so coordinated.
Oh, really? I wouldn't have known that. No, not based off those jumps.
Those who can't do report.
We got to give her some credit for holding the mic while
the fact that she held the mic very tightly.
Hey, guys, we got to promote the ESPN app. You know that.
Yeah, hey, you know what? New mic flag. Who dis? No, it's awesome to be in this building for it. From our perspective, the booth shakes. It sways. It legitimately moves. Where we're sitting here, I mean, you can feel the press box move left and move right, and with every beat and bounce, I I mean, it is a truly cool experience, and we get to be here for the first one of the year. They'll do it again next week. Hornibrook, Fumagalli, the stop and go. And big Troy Fumagalli down to the 21-yard line.
Well, you remember the touchdown by Fumagalli earlier. Very similar play. Full zone into the boundary. Boot him out. Look back. And they wide open in the middle of the field.
Now it's Taylor. Picks his way for about 6 yards. Penalty marker thrown.
You mentioned earlier this is very similar, reminiscent of last night, Ohio State, Indiana.
Sure.
I think you're spot on.
It feels more and more like that as we get deeper into the game, certainly.
Illegal substitution, 12 men on defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Badgers still on this 38-0 run. And multiple Badgers have scored their first career touchdowns tonight. Xander Neville did it on the first catch of his career, playing in his 28th career game. Pretty cool.
Happy for that cat. An unsung hero, great blocker, doesn't get the accolades or the credit. Good on him getting a touchdown tonight.
Shaw. What was your take on Indiana last night? I mean, I know we expect Ohio State to continue to do bigger things and improve as the year goes, but how's Indiana looking to you? What do you think they can do?
Got some talented wide receivers.
Great group, yeah.
I thought Herbie did a good job pointing that out, the talent at wide receiver. Good veteran quarterback coming back. Indiana is, they're going to upset somebody. They're going to beat somebody that we're not going to expect.
Sure.
We could pull out their schedule right now, and somewhere on there, most people would say loss. They're going to sneak up on somebody and get them.
Tom Allen in his home state, first-year head coach, full-time.
Had to be an interesting night for Kevin Wilson.
Going back to Bloomington.
Against his old team, and it ended in a very uncomfortable way, I think, for everybody. Kevin Wilson at Oklahoma for 4 years while I was there. Excellent football coach, and he's been the man that's been brought into Columbus to get that offense right. Kind of sputtered early, but I think we saw there in the third and early in the fourth quarter last night what that offense is capable of, and maybe the vision of what Kevin Wilson wants to do with the Buckeyes.
Speaking of another Big Ten team, we mentioned Michigan, Florida tomorrow. We haven't gotten a chance to talk about that. Your take on what we might see tomorrow? I know Florida has a lot of personnel issues, 10 guys suspended, including their leading receiver. But what do you think we might see tomorrow in Dallas?
And Felipe Franks, right? Everyone
Starting
thought it was going to be Malik Zaire.
Sure.
It's the redshirt freshman that's going to be the starting quarterback. What we're going to see is some good defense, because even though both of these teams graduate a lot of guys off their defense, both are going to replenish. I think Jim Harbaugh, even though he lost a lot of people, he's recruited very well, got an edge, a toughness for him. I think they're going to impress this season.
For Austin Ramish, his fourth career touchdown. The fullback banging it home for 44 unanswered for Wisconsin.
Fullbacks are scoring, tight ends are scoring. It's Wisconsin football at its finest, people.
I think so, man.
There's a lot of people that don't even have fullbacks and don't use fullbacks and tight ends, and that's what this program's built on.
Paul Christ, who has a very dry sense of humor, brought that up with us the other day when we asked him about his tight ends and fullbacks. He goes, "Isn't that funny? We actually use them for real, like real fullbacks
and real tight ends that can actually block and catch."
Timeout.
9:26 for the fourth. Remember that turning point ever since the Jalen Davis ejection. All Wisconsin in Madtown tonight. And Brandel opened up in 1917, 100 years ago. November the 3rd, Wisconsin and Minnesota opened it up. It's the 5th oldest stadium in the country. Bobby Dodd Stadium at Georgia Tech, Davis Wade at Mississippi State, Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati, and Vaught Hemingway at Ole Miss are the only stadiums older than, I think, what is considered to be one of the hallowed grounds of this sport. Awesome to be here on opening night tonight.
My first time in the camp, blown away.
Yeah. Tony Lindsay on the return. The Wisconsin defense has looked sharp tonight.
And now it's time for We've Got You Covered. Brought to you by Jiffy Lube. Deion Jacobs been all over the field tonight. Megatron, they call him. Dakota Dixon. A nice interception. This Wisconsin defense, from about the second quarter on, they have responded. And Jim Leonard, in his first night calling defenses for the Wisconsin Badgers, he's gotten his team to make adjustments, and he's gotten to start playing some really quality defense.
I talked with Rex Ryan yesterday, who's now our colleague at ESPN. He'll be on Monday Night Football in Week 1. And he was telling me about Jim Leonard, his guy. He made a very concerted effort to have Jim Leonard as part of his defense. In 2008, Jim was a defensive back for Rex Ryan in Baltimore. 2009, Rex Ryan gets the head coaching job with the New York Jets. And he does something very interesting. Marcus Douglas, Bart Scott, Jim Leonard, 3 free agents that were relatively affordable, brought them all over to New York to help implement the defense that was so successful in Baltimore. And in the first year with the Jets, they went from 23rd in total defense to #1 in the league. Wow. And Rex Ryan told me Jim Leonard had as big of an impact as anybody on that.
Might just be year number 2 for Jim Leonard actually being a coach, but I think we both agree he's been coaching for quite some time now.
Yeah, 10-year NFL veteran after being a walk-on at Wisconsin. And he is essentially a coach on the field. He was a coach on the field when he was a player. I think that's a cliche that gets overused sometimes, but it is very fitting with Jim Leonard.
Yeah, Adam, we talked to Jim Leonard about that. He said his main goal was to be an eraser of mistakes, to help his teammates minimize their mistakes. And on the sideline tonight, I've seen a lot of that from Dakota Dixon. He's been going to all of his teammates, trying to help them, especially when they're having communication issues.
How about that ricochet? The catch is made for Utah State by Jaron Colston Green. That looked like it was going to be an incompletion, maybe a pick, going off the hands of Dante Carrier-Williams, the redshirt freshman. It ends up being a 40-yard pass play. Not much there for Lindsay.
Carrier-Williams gets his left hand on it. Wow. Great concentration by Colston Green to bring that ball in.
Senior out of Tallahassee, Florida. There's Alex Byers, and there's that Wisconsin defense getting after it again. Now some of the backups are in, and that's Lubern Figaro with the open field tackle. Gets spun down by Arrington Farrar and Andrew Van Ginkel. That'll bring up 4th down for Utah State.
And these are things that Jim Leonard wants to see as the backups get in.
Sure.
Are they doing their job? Are they doing what they're supposed to do? You've got to develop depth throughout the course of the season. You're going to call on a lot of football players, so a great opportunity for guys to step in, get a feel, start to make a name for themselves early on in the season.
Screen, Hunt, and he got hit by Joe Ferguson right at the line to gain. Redshirt senior Joe Ferguson on the stop. And it is a first down. Reminder that Saturday Night Football on ABC is coming your way. Number 1 Alabama, number 3 Florida State. What a matchup to open up the season and to open up the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta Chick-fil-A kickoff game.
2 of the best defensive players in all of college football on display in that game. Minka Fitzpatrick, as well as Derwin James. It's going to be fun to watch those versatile guys get after it.
I want your pick on the other side. I'm putting you on the spot, buddy.
Maybe. All right, you can
All right, yeah, I'm getting it. I'm getting it.
All ESPN coverage is streaming live on the ESPN app. Download now and take ESPN everywhere.
Download it now. The ESPN app. It's going to be important for you and me and Dusty and Molly and all of us tomorrow when we open up the first Saturday of the college football season in earnest. Off the fingertips of Jordan Nathan, incomplete. It'll bring up second down. So we teased him. I got to hear it. Alabama, Florida State. Alabama comes in as a touchdown favorite. Where's your head at for this tomorrow?
How do you go against Alabama? I mean, Jalen Hurts coming back, the SEC Player of the Year. Everybody's down on Jalen Hurts. Like, dude was a true freshman last year, and he's the SEC Player of the Year with 36 touchdowns. Nick Saban has never lost to one of his assistants.
10-0 if I'm not
10-0
mistaken, right?
against his assistants. And with the question marks I have of Florida State's offensive line, can they protect DeAndre Francois? Can they get the true freshman Cam Akers going on the ground? I just don't know yet. I have to side with Alabama. I think Alabama, the way they've recruited, what Nick Saban's built, and boy, they're so good and on point to start seasons. I hope we have a great football game, but I think the Tide's going to roll.
You think it's going to be close, or do you think
I do.
You think it's going to be competitive?
I think it is going to be competitive. I think we're going to have an inside of a touchdown game, and one that I think Herbie and the boys will be following to the end.
Another interception, and it's Joe Ferguson in his 45th career game. The redshirt senior from right here in Madison will take it home. The grandson of the former Wisconsin coach and current athletic director, Barry Alvarez, 99-yard pick six, Joe Ferguson.
Joe Ferguson, the safety. Great job undercutting the route, reading the quarterback's eyes. Oh, man, look at them hammies. Like me running the quarter. Come on, Joe, keep going. As his convoy takes him to the end zone. That wasn't easy, but it was impressive.
First career interception in his 45th career game. This guy was a dual threat quarterback at Memorial High School here in Madison. And 45 games later, he is huffing and puffing in the most satisfied way right now, scoring that pick six.
He's saying, where's the oxygen?
Oh, man.
Need to breathe. Got to think Coach Alvarez is smiling big after watching that.
Yep.
This game was 10-7 with a minute to go heading into half. Wisconsin was losing at it. They flipped the script.
Going back even further, 10-0 to start the night for Utah State. 52 unanswered for the Badgers, and the 7 touchdowns tonight have come from 7 different players. 4 of them have the first of their careers, including Barry Alvarez's grandson tonight. Again, with the thousands affected by Hurricane Harvey down in the Houston areas, they urgently need your support. You can help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to many families. Donate today. redcross.org/ESPN. Some incredible stuff that organizations and people have been doing over this last 10-day stretch to help as much as they possibly can. You can help us out too. Ball loose on the ground. Gerald Bright ended up losing it, and Wisconsin with another takeaway. It is falling apart for Utah State tonight. Mike Mascalunas, redshirt freshman out of Long Grove, Illinois, with the 4th Badger takeaway.
Well, Matt Wells got the start that he wanted, Adam.
Yep.
And then it went the other way. See if they can build off that first half where they had so much success as they start to get into their season.
Now Jack Cohn, true freshman out of Sayville, New York, who won the backup job over Hooray Lyles. Will step in at quarterback from the 37. And Rashid Ibrahim, former Pitt Panther under Paul Christ, will get the carry. We talked a lot about Florida State, Alabama, and it's certainly going to be a fun game. But I think this legitimately could be as entertaining of a game as we have this weekend. Capital One Sunday night kickoff from FedEx Field in Landover, West Virginia, Virginia Tech on ABC, 7:30 Eastern, also on the ESPN app.
Dana Holgerson coming off a 10-win season. Justin Fuente in his first year there in Blacksburg, winning the division. He's starting a true freshman, Josh Jackson, there at Virginia Tech for the first time since a guy you may have heard of, Michael Vick, back in '99.
How about that?
It's going to be a great matchup.
4th down and 2 coming up for Wisconsin. It's got to be a frustrating. Interceptions thrown tonight by Kent in his 27th career start. Matt Wells told us he still plays with that chip on his shoulder. This is a stud out of high school in a great football state in Texas. You know about that, Dusty. He's been a winner at Utah State, and this last stretch has to be pretty frustrating for a guy who may not really be used to that level of disappointment.
Dating back to last year, now 7 straight losses. He talked about that bad taste he and his teammates and coaches had in their mouth. It got out of there for a little bit, but unfortunately, I think it's back. So, yeah, Kit Myers looking to go back to the film room, learn from the mistakes, and try to build on some of the positives. But definitely, the second half has not gone the way Kit Myers had hoped.
This is Garrett Groshek on the run. And Garrett Groshek with his first career touchdown for Wisconsin. Redshirt freshman will bang it home. Unanswered for Wisconsin. Joy and jubilation on the Wisconsin sideline, and this is on the Utah State sideline.
Frustration and disappointment, but you got to respect a leader, a quarterback, taking it upon himself to say, that's on me. I got to be better. I have to do my job better. That's leadership, and that's what he's going to have to be for this team as they move forward.
Utah State and blown out now by Wisconsin, and plenty to be excited about if you're a Badger tonight. especially if you haven't made the biggest impact prior in your career. Maybe it's your first year getting playing time. Maybe you're getting some garbage time action, and they're all getting it done tonight. 5 different Badgers with their first career touchdowns this season.
And the kickoff is down to the end zone.
I'm still waiting for my first touchdown, Adam.
You never got? Did you get a reception or an interception? I mean,
yeah, I had an interception. I felt like I was running 90 yards. I think it went 9. Big tree fall hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't want to see your 100-meter dash time or anything like that.
No, you don't. Not quite as fast as Jonathan Taylor.
No. Utah State has Idaho State coming up next. That's a Thursday game for them coming up. We'll go to Wake Forest during non-conference play, and they'll open up Mountain West play in a few weeks at San Jose State. These two teams have a common opponent coming up in BYU. BYU-Utah State, a traditional rivalry. Justin Hervey carries it for the first time tonight for Utah State.
Mentioned BYU, that BYU LSU game.
Yep.
Another interesting matchup.
What do you expect tomorrow? Again, that game has been moved from NRG Stadium due to the Hurricane Harvey. That's been moved to the Superdome.
Beneficial for LSU. I can tell you all too well, LSU, they pack it full there at the Superdome. Had a chance to play against LSU in a national championship game there.
I'm aware.
A little bit of a home field advantage. But in that game, Arden Key's not going to play the outstanding pass rusher on the edge for the LSU Tigers. So if they can't generate a pass rush, maybe BYU can run the football, milk some clock. But I got to tell you, I think Matt Canada is the real deal.
Really?
I think he's one of the top young, up-and-coming offensive coordinators in all of college football. I expect him to get Danny Etling playing at a higher level, which is only going to help Darius Guy. So as you look at that game, I like LSU quite a bit.
Brock Heward will be on the call. Brock Heward said it's going to be a physical game, as physical of a game as we're going to have this weekend to open up the season. So Brock with Baba Shoes and an Allison Williams will have the call tomorrow night on ESPN. I'm curious to know who's going to do more push-ups, the Badger or you.
Bucky's got me tonight, man.
All right.
I tap out at 50. Bucky going to make it? The knees are getting wobbly, man.
I feel like you might be struggling right now. Oh, Bucky. It's only week 1, pal. It'll be okay. Entertaining opening nights on a Friday as we get you set up for the Saturday. This is the Badgers in pregame. They were feeling good. They were jumping around a little bit. The anticipation, the expectation of what the night's going to be like. And then we get the real jump around with our legend, Molly McGrath, in the stands enjoying it too. Looked like Molly was ready for wedding season or something like that. I think she's ready to go.
Absolutely. Now, is she gonna, when she goes down the aisle, is she gonna have that mic?
I hope she does. And I hope she goes down the aisle to jump around. What a play by Myers, and he's got an open man downfield, and Savon Scarver. True freshman out of Las Vegas with a big play, but a penalty marker thrown from the near side.
It's a really nice play by Kent Myers. Pressure, steps up, avoids, fires a strike to the sidelines.
And 2 minutes to play here. Wisconsin brings in Florida Atlantic next week. Then they go to Provo. Interesting game to play at BYU. Then they'll get a bye before they open up Big Ten play against Northwestern. Favorable schedule. Nothing's easy, especially in this conference and in college football in general. It's not to say that they're going to walk through or that they don't deserve credit if they continue to roll through a schedule. But no road game at Michigan. It's home this year. No Ohio State or Michigan State on the schedule.
Or Penn State.
Or Penn State, exactly, as well. No Penn State for them.
Myers pass complete to number 25, White.
Wisconsin is one of 5 teams in the country that, according to the ESPN FPI, is favored in every regular season game. The others, Stanford, South Florida, Alabama, and Ohio State, along with Wisconsin. Those are the 5 teams that our FPI favors in every regular season game.
Our FPI is great, but I got to tell you, that's crazy to me because Stanford is going to the Coliseum to play USC next week.
That's right, week 2.
Our FPI is calling for the upset.
Already.
That'll be a good game.
Is Sam Darnold the real deal?
Yes.
To you?
Mobile, great arm. That team completely changed when he took the reins.
Yeah.
I mean, he took command of that offense. Obviously, Ronald Jones being able to run the football. They've got talent all over the place, but he was the catalyst that got USC going, got them to a Rose Bowl, and ultimately beat Penn State. So I do think he's the real deal. Well, that Pac-12 littered full of quality quarterbacks.
Washington, by the way, closed out Rutgers in Jersey tonight, 30-14. Jake Browning out in Washington, Josh Rosen at UCLA, Luke Falk, the veteran at Washington State. We were talking about our Friday schedule, pumping it up a little bit. September 29th, Friday night in Pullman, USC at Washington State. You want to talk about a lit atmosphere. That's going to be a fun night to be out in Pullman, Washington for our crew.
The Palouse is going to be loose.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, we've got a great lineup on Friday nights, and definitely quite a few of the Pac-12 get a chance to see some of those high-octane offenses and big-time quarterbacks.
Myers under pressure. He lost it away.
Myers pass incomplete.
17 seconds remaining. Wisconsin's going to win another home opener. For a half, this was a dicey looking game. It was 10-0 with over a minute to go in the first half. This was a competitive game. Utah State came out guns blazing. But it's been all Wisconsin since that final minute plus of the first half.
And what, they cleaned things up. There were the mistakes in the first half, the penalties, the turnovers, the drop passes. There haven't been mistakes. And really what got them going, remember right out to start the second half, that big run by Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
They reimposed their will right before halftime, and they came out, had some big runs, it set up the play action pass, and then all of a sudden Utah State they were chasing, and they started getting out of what gave them success early, and it's been all Wisconsin.
Underneath, it's El Toro Allen diving out of bounds. College transfer from California.
There may be 5 seconds left in a 59-10 game, but I can assure you, for these defensive coaches, for Jim Leonard, this is a big play.
Oh, yeah. Myers to the end zone, and it is incomplete. Lubern Figaro shuts it down for the Badgers tonight. 59 unanswered for the number 9 team in the country. And the Badger through and through, Paul Chris, picks up the win to start the season. For Dusty Dvorak, Molly McGrath, our great crew, Adam Amin Singh so long from Madison. My man SVP will take it the rest of the way. Sports Center.